Just David Francis, Francis Bella. Have you got paper? Do you need to take that?
No, I don't.
Well, how are you? Did you do your English homework?
Yes,
Oh. Do you want to read it out? Or? We'll just wait a minute and see. Bye. Have a nice few hours. See you later. Pardon? Yeah, leave me back, can't you? Just wait a minute. You had a nice week, Francis?
Yeah.
What have you been doing? Don't know. You went to school? You forgot.
I went to school.
You went to school. I went to school as well. I've been going to school all my life. Right, I'll just have to start. Okay, so, oh, that's if you still want to take your coat off, okay? Right, let's see if anybody else. Okay, right, so today we are going to, I'll mark your homework while you're doing your other tasks, all right? So today we're going to look at telling the stories. What can you remember from last week? What can you remember?
Francis.
Oh, go on, tell me.
Oh, Bible and opening.
You're writing an opening, okay. And what did that involve? What did we have to remember, Isabella? I know what you're going to say. Does it begin with P? What?
Idioms.
Idioms, yeah, that was good too. We did idioms, yeah. They're good for stories, aren't they? What was the word beginning with P? Yes. Yes, well done. What is a protagonist?
A main character.
Well done. We're going to look at that more today. Okay, we're going to look at what we have to do with that main character. And we're going to look at making our very own story. Because the story is like climbing a mountain. Okay? We start here, we don't know what is going to happen, and then it could all go wrong up here, and then it either does go wrong and we fall all the way down the mountain, or we find a way. Okay? We're going to use these to plan our story. So today we're going to look at the middle, and next week we'll look at the end. And if you keep this, you can always remind yourself of the good plan of writing the story. Okay? So we had a protagonist, and what else did we have that goes with the protagonist? It begins with an A. Yeah. Antagonist, well done. And that is what? Yeah, the villain or the baddie. Okay, the one who's... Okay, so today, this is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at adjectives and adverbs. We know what they are, don't we? Yeah. We're going to look at writing a character. And we're going to look at making our work interesting using adjectives, adverbs, idioms, and similes. You doing the right one? No. You sent me the wrong one. So wait 1 second. So that's the wrong one. Really, yeah. It should be the one in the middle. Yeah. You said the one not. Yeah. So this. So right here, we're always there.
Oh, right. One second, please.
If you're unsure, you can always check on Zoom because I always send it to Zoom also.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're doing today, the middle, okay? So the middle is where we've done our beginning, all right? And we're going to be looking at adjectives and adverbs and stuff, but we're going to look at creating our character through dialogue and creating conflict, okay? So we don't mean a big fight when we say conflict. We just mean something happening, okay? Something happening. And then we're going to make our word interesting again using adjectives, adverbs, idioms, and similes. Again, we always use them in our stories, don't we? And any more language features, dialogue is really important. What is dialogue? Yes.
Speech.
It is, yes. Okay, so we've got some spellings for today. Ooh, should I do hard ones or easy? Okay. Number 1, complicated. Yeah. Number 2, connected. Number 3, convicted. I'm in the mood for cause tonight. Okay, number 4, fantastic. Number 5, fabulous. Number 6, enormous. Number 7, ridiculous. Number 8, dilemma. Number 9, beginning. Number 10, resolution. Okay, I'll read them out again. Number 1, complicated. Number 2, connected. Number 3, convicted. Number 4, fantastic. Number 5, fabulous. Number 6, enormous. Number 7, ridiculous. Number 8, dilemma. Number 9, beginning. And number 10, resolution. Have you got all of those? Yes, okay. So what am I going to do now? What am I going to ask you to do? Remember from last week? Yes.
Choose one and write a sentence about it.
Oh, very good. Choose one and write a sentence about it. Why do you think I asked you to do this? Yeah.
So you know the meaning of it.
Yeah, so I know you know the meaning as well, isn't it? Because sometimes we can have things called homophones, can't we? What are they? Let's just have a, you're fast up, you. That's good, that's good. Yes, Isabella. Well done, excellent. Yeah, so I did a spelling test, I think it was yesterday. And I said the word accept, but lots of people wrote accept. So instead of E-X-C-E-P-T, they wrote A-C-C-E-P-T. And they've got different meanings, but I can see why that would happen. Can you? Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you a little few minutes. Do you think they were hard spellings or easy? Or mixed?
Mixed.
Yeah. And whichever word you choose, I am going to ask you to spell it out as well. Keep my mum watching. Oh no, it's not. You don't?
Yeah.
Go on then, Francis.
The clinical tests are very complicated.
Oh, that's a good one. Very on topic. Excellent. How do you spell complicated?
C-O-M-P-L-I-C-A-T-E-D.
Excellent. Well done. You're really doing it tonight, aren't you? Have you had some good snack or something? You had a really good snack on your way to class. Isabella, have you got a sentence for me? Okay, what word is it?
Beginning.
Beginning. That is a tricky word, so well done for choosing that. That's very brave. It doesn't sound like a tricky word, does it? But it is a tricky word. And it's one of the words that people spell incorrectly a lot. So it's that I always put it into tests, okay? Because it's just one of those words. Right, okay then. Spell the word for me, please. Oh, there's one extra letter that needs to be there, a little tricky, naughty letter. So think about the I. Think about that old rule that we have. Remember where an I can become an I. But it doesn't happen, does it, in beginning? It happens in the B, the be, but some people do say so it's beginning. Okay, begin. So what do you think makes those vowel sounds? What do we maybe have to have in the middle? Begin. Beginning. Beginning. There's an extra N. Where do you think that extra N is going to go? B-E-G.
B-E-G.
Yes, yes. So you won't forget that again. The best thing, did you get it wrong too? The best thing is to get that word wrong and then you'll never get it wrong again. Isn't it? Because you'll always remember, oh, no, it's beginning, isn't it? It starts at the beginning, okay? Lots of words like that. Pardon? Why did you spell it wrong?
Correction.
You put the correction in. Just spell it out correctly or just stick the N in. So, Isabella, did you tell me your what's your sentence?
What's at the beginning of the story of Thomas John?
Oh, that's interesting and also on topic. But I actually think the beginning is quite okay. Sometimes it is difficult to get started. We can look at sentence starters, can't we? But I think it's really hard to end a story. I see, yeah. That's why we do a plan, isn't it? That's why we have these story mountains, yeah. You can always start with in the beginning, can't you? In the beginning. Okay. So give your papers to Zara and we'll mark them, okay? So well done for that. We're going to have a little quick simple tense test now, just because this is something in a story that we can easily, some of them are tricky, so just use your bit of community. So when we're writing a story, what tense should we write it in? Yes, thanks. Yes, because it's easier, isn't it? Easier to keep it going. So we'll make sentences into the past tense. Let's do this, okay? So sentence one. I love how the sun is shining. Yes.
I don't remember.
Oh, we can just say it. Do you want to break them down?
Can we just page out?
Yeah.
No.
Or you don't want the page out? Okay. Do you want to wait a minute? Yeah. You can start then, Isabel. So, I love how the sun is shining. The boy is sitting quietly. The woman is running very fast. The children are ready to go for a nice long walk. The house is very noisy. What words do we need to look at when we're looking at verbs? Yes. Yeah, what are they called? Verbs. Okay, so it's the verb tense. It's the verb that articulates the tense. Okay, the verb tells us where we are in time. Yes. Okay, I am in the classroom. I was in the classroom. I will be in the classroom tomorrow. My whole life is in the classroom. Okay. At any time, past, present, or future, I'm always in some sort of classroom. Aren't I? Or all the time? You were at home. You're now in the classroom and you will be at home later on tonight. Yes. You used to be little, but now you're big and you will be bigger. What do they call those words? Just for a little extra test. Little, big, and bigger, and biggest. Super. Superlatives. Yeah? Big, bigger, biggest. They're the superhero words, aren't they? Bigger and biggest. Biggest is the superhero word of big. It's a superlative. Makes big super. Okay? That's how you remember it. You will get tested on that. We have a look at your story while we're doing this. So you can carry on with this, okay?
That's what how we also like.
When we, after today, yeah. Or you can choose another one. Here's mine. Okay. That my teacher. Hey. Actually, I think what we'll do is, do you mind, we won't have a break, we'll have a break at the end. We'll finish like 10 minutes earlier. Is that okay with everyone? So you will, if you need to go to the toilet, you can just go to the toilet, okay. Right, so let's have a look at this. It was my first day in the house when I went to my bed. I felt a bump on my back. I looked under the bed and saw a 100-year-old. Oh, you telling folks your mom, Frances, in your story? Excellent start. Good atmosphere. Character. So the fact that you brought in dialogue has made me know more about your character. Through done. Right. Good. So you can carry that on if you want to, or you can start a new one. Okay, I'll give you another couple of minutes and then you're going to read your sentences out for me, okay? Yes.
How was talking about?
Of course you can. Take that card, but we didn't have any open. For me, there was a function. Okay, another couple of minutes. Yeah? Right, how are we getting on? Should we just have a little go at them? Isabel, what do you think of number one? I loved how the sun was shining. Okay, what do we all think of that? Is that right? I loved how the sun was shining. Francis, what do you think?
I loved how the sun was shining.
You think that's right, yeah? Good. Okay, number 2, the boy is sitting quietly. I've never seen a boy sitting quietly. That's a big fib. Okay, that's fine. We just carry on. Should we say, the boy wasn't sitting quietly at all? No, I'm joking, Isabella. Have you got an answer for that one?
Yeah, the boy was.
Excellent, good. I'm just going to put, can you just ask them the rest? I'm just trying to hit this off.
So we took the boys sitting quietly. So the woman is running very fast. Isabella, do you want to answer that one? Can you just go on, Francis? Answer that.
The woman was running very fast.
Yeah. Next one. The children are ready to go out for a nice long walk. Isabella.
The children were ready to go home soon.
Yeah, very good. Do anyone have any different Francis? For the same, yeah. And then the house is very noisy, Francis.
The house was very noisy.
Yeah, good. Just be a theme in them. It's the one word that keeps changing. Because these tenses are all present tense, so what word keeps changing?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Good.
Have we done that?
Yeah, I was just asking, is there like a common word that has to change?
Yes. Yeah, what is the common word? Is, yeah, because that's the verb, isn't it? That's what we have to change. Is, was, will be. And then sometimes what else happens to a verb? So if I said, the boy is sitting, so sitting is also a verb, isn't it? What happens to it? Yes, it does, but some people get it mixed up, don't they? And they say sitted. Why would anybody say sitted by accident? The boy sitted on the, yes, Isabella.
Because
Let's go. And also, if we think, okay, I skip along the road becomes I skipped. So a lot of the time we do add ed, don't we? So there's no rule, we just have to learn them. That's all there is to it. Like spellings, for every rule there is an exception to the rule. Have you done them all? Sarah?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, well done. Okay, so let's have a think of how we make a good middle. What do you think makes a good middle of the story? So we've got a good beginning. Yours is an excellent beginning. I wish you'd read it out. We need to set the atmosphere, make the setting, don't we? Introduce the characters, yes?
For the middle, I think building of tension.
Oh, well, how do we do that? Build the tension. You can do some, yes.
Make like something that everybody like in this studio.
Oh, excellent. Do you know what we're going to talk about that in a minute. You've just put both of you together have hit the nail on the head, because what we need to, we could look at 5 things, okay? Oh, we've missed out 4. You can tell I'm not very good at maths, can't you? So number 1, we have to develop those characters or introduce some characters, don't we? Definitely that. Hopefully we've got our protagonist from the beginning, but we definitely need to introduce an antagonist and another character, okay? Yeah? So we have to get those in the middle, don't we? Maybe in the beginning, but definitely in the middle. We need to talk about the setting, like you said, or some tension, building tension. So remember last week we talked about the protagonist wanting to do something and having an aim, like Cinderella wants to go to the ball, Harry Potter, I don't know, what does Harry Potter want to do? He wants to what? He wants to get away from somebody. I don't understand Harry Potter. There's too much going on. Too many characters for me. Do you like Harry Potter? Well, you can make a lesson about Harry Potter then one week, okay? Yes. Because I don't know anything. Everyone always asks me to do lessons about Harry Potter.
Have you not seen the movies?
I fell asleep. A lot of them had lovely sleep in those cinemas. Very expensive sleep I had when my children were little, and they'd all want to watch Harry Potter. I don't know, they watched it about 1 million times as well. Well, they did, but when they were little, when my children were little, we didn't have Netflix really. It was in the olden days. My daughter's 26. She's a teacher. She comes here sometimes. Okay, so we had yes, so we have something, the characters are doing something. So they have an aim, okay, and the antagonist is going to get in the way of that aim. Okay, so we've created the aim in the beginning. We know what that character wants in the beginning. Then in the middle, things have to get in the way and it creates that tension. But like you said, we have to sort of set it up, don't we? And we call that something beginning with F. Does anybody know what it's called? Fush. I'll leave it and we'll talk about it later. Okay. And then what else could we also introduce in the middle? Maybe a bit of an argument, bit of a, some conflict, bit of things going on. Harry Potter can have a fight with somebody, I don't know. Bit of action. Yeah, we need some action. Lots of adverbs and verbs. Yes. Anything else? We definitely need dialogue, don't we? More dialogue. So these aren't in any order. They're just the things that we have to have in our middle. It's like the meat in the sandwich. It's where it all happens. So we've got our bread on this side and a bit of lettuce. Do you like lettuce? A bit of tomato, a little bit of mayonnaise, maybe. Do you like ham or cheese, or what do you like on your sandwiches?
I don't like tomatoes.
Well, you won't have to have tomatoes then. Well, maybe they're the antagonists. You have to get rid of them. Yeah, and they're all in the middle, making it all juicy, and it's where it all happens. And then we've got the other bread on the other side, making it into a sandwich. So that is our story. Okay. So here, what's an antagonist again? Yes. The baddie. Can you name a few good baddies? Who's your favourite baddie? Yes. Voldemort. I do know, I remember his name. Is it Voldemort or Voldemort? Voldemort. My kids used to have it. What's his name? Voldemort. I thought it was Voldemort. Well, my kids used to have a song we used to sing it when we used to go on holiday. What was it? Is there a song like a Harry Potter song? Oh, and I used to go Voldemort or something like that at the end. No, I'm going to ask them tonight because we're all going to. What is it? Yeah, well, I'll ask them tonight. Okay, but all I remember was Voldemort, that bit. Okay, so we know what the antagonist is. It's the baddie. So you've got Voldemort. Have you got a good baddie? A good baddie. What do we call that? A good baddie. What kind of idiom or turn of phrase is that? Well, I'm going to leave you with that. And when you come back next week, I'm going to ask, it's like bittersweet. Bittersweet or a good baddie? They are opposite, yeah?
I know what bittersweet means.
What?
Like, the good with doing something, but there's bad as well.
Yeah, like going to bed early. It's bittersweet, isn't it? Bittersweet. It's not for me. I love it. I love going to bed early. Yeah. Okay, so, or you could say I've got a really, really good job, but it's in Manchester, so it's bittersweet. It's really, really good, but it's got a little sting in it. It's called an oxymoron. Okay? An oxymoron.
没事，没断，我点的是云录制。
Okay, and it means when you've got two opposites together. Yes?
Well, because I said cause it's like smash everything about look. Like,
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, you can, yeah. It's just, that's just your adverb, isn't it? You're just describing how you did it. Okay, so,
你一会儿就回家了是吧？
啊7点呢，7点才结束，你早上回家也得一俩小时，发现得你就算跑得快也得8点半才能到寝室。
yeah, do I have to go and tell them? Okay, so can you tell Zara, please, who is your best baddie?
说可能那就这样。
Sorry, I think you're unmuted. We can hear you.
Goldilocks, no, 3 pigs, they've been bad in 3 pigs.
Yeah.
Great common one, isn't it?
The big
They'll
bad
back house. Yeah.
That's a good one. Or the ugly. You know, it's just that mothers are like always ugly, the ugly stepmother, or it's not very nice, is it? What about, I think the Penguin is a good baddie from the Batman movies. I think that's a good baddie. What about the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz? She's a good baddie, I think. Okay, Shakespeare, when you go to secondary school and you meet Shakespeare, he's got some brilliant baddies, the best baddies. And Charles Dickens has got some good baddies as well. Christmas Carol, Scrooge starts as a baddie and then turns into a goodie. Do you know that story? Yeah, so he starts off as a horrible baddie and he turns into a goodie. Okay, so good baddies are the best. I'd much rather be a baddie than a goodie. So this is the word I was talking about. Have you heard of this word? Foreshadowing. Yes.
I think I've heard it before, but I don't know what.
Oh, well, you've learned lots. You've learned lots tonight, haven't you? You've learned oxymoron. You've learned how to spell beginning. Yeah. And you've also going to now learn about foreshadowing. So if you can tell this to your teachers, she'll be very impressed because you don't really learn this till year 6. Okay. This is very good that you're learning this well. This is like secondary school work, really. So you'll smash that Blue Post exam. So what do we think if we don't know a word, what do we do? If we're in a test and we don't know a word, what should we do? Yes.
Do you mean like the meaning of one? Oh, you read the other.
You read the sentence, don't you? Yes. What if it's quite a big word and it's probably made up of different words? Yes.
Break the word down.
Good. Excellent. So let's look at breaking this word down. We've got for and shadows. It's like before, isn't it? For first. Yeah. So it's before the shadow, it's saying. So it's almost like the shadow's there and you can see it. Yeah.
Do you mean like before the problem?
Yes. Clever boy. So it's like you were saying as well before, Isabella, it's like giving the idea that something is going to happen. Okay. Does that happen in Harry Potter? Do you get an inkling of, do you? That's called foreshadowing. So at the end you go, oh, I see. I knew that was going to happen. Have you ever done that? I knew that was going to happen. That's because the writer has done good foreshadowing. So it's a literary device used to hint at events to come and to keep the readers guessing. Okay? So you need that in the middle. Foreshadow. So here it is. Foreshadow. Telling the reader little clues, okay, of what might happen next. So you go, oh, knew that was going to happen. So what we're going to aim to do is we've got this week, then I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a class in half term, I'll ask. But I thought hopefully what we will have in time for Halloween is some scary stories. And then what we're going to do for Halloween week lesson is a scary comprehension. But it would be good if you two had written some good scary stories as well. With some foreshadowing, with a really, really, really good baddie. Okay? Really good baddie. That's going to scare me. But I do get scared very easily though. So don't be too scary, will you? Don't scare me too much so I can't sleep. Okay? Right, who likes Halloween? Yeah. It's good, isn't it? Why do you like it? Sweets. Yeah. Oh my goodness, what's your outfit? What are you gonna wear?
It's like this. How do I describe it? It's like this dress, but it's like the devil.
Oh. What about you, Francis? Are you gonna get dressed up or is that? No, you're not, no. But you will wear a costume, will you? Yeah. My sons always went as like a footballer, or sometimes they'd go as, yeah, sometimes they would go as a zombie or a monster or and then they would come back after eating a million sweets, going crazy. Just going absolutely crazy for hours and they wouldn't go to bed. Oh, you don't go to bed on Halloween. Do you know what you're supposed to do on Halloween? You're supposed to stay up till midnight. Have you heard this story? Stay up until midnight and you look in the mirror at midnight and you see the person you're going to marry.
Do you think I could do that?
I know, just kidding. Wish I had. Ran away when I saw it. Anyway, so foreshadowing is very, very important. I'm going to think a little bit about foreshadowing now, okay? Let's all have a look at this picture, all right? And then think about what might happen next. Okay? So there's a boy there. He's got a little dog. I don't know what is going on. What? Just quickly, what do you think might happen next? Yes.
He's gonna throw the dog. He has in his hand.
Okay. I don't know. What do you think might happen next?
Maybe a fish or something.
You can come in and have a best of luck if you want. What about? Let's see if I can make it bigger. I know, what is that in the water? Yes.
A giant jellyfish.
Oh. Sort of looks like a bit of a. It looks like he's got a shield. Oh,
Did he come to the castle?
it does look like a person, doesn't it? Yeah. Hmm?
Looks like a skeleton on a throne.
Oh my goodness. So what could happen maybe? Yeah.
He comes from the water.
Oh my God, he could come out of the water or he could go into the water. But there's something, it looks, so it's all set up, isn't it? So if we were looking at that description, yeah, we would then think, oh, the reader would be saying, so are they going to go into the water? Is the man in the water going to come out? Yeah, if we describe that scene with the trees and the man in the water and the little boy with his doll or his fish, okay, the creature, then I think we would be guessing what's going to happen next and wondering. And if you were me, you'd be scared. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, you're all doing very well. Does anybody need to go to the bathroom or anything? You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you okay? We're going to now look at the story now. Okay, would you keep? Yeah, please. I'll just keep on. So we're going to look at the story mountain. And here we have it. And what I've given you is your own little story mountain. You've got a beginning, where you can see how to spell beginning, the build up, the problem or the dilemma, the things that might go wrong, the resolution. All the resolution is how it all fixes itself. And does the story have a happy ending or a sad ending? Does Harry Potter have a happy ending or a sad ending? Happy. What happens at the end? Yes. Oh, well, that's not very happy for Voldemort, is it? But it's happy for Harry, is it? Does he marry, what's her name? Hermione. He marries Jane. Who's Jane? Ginny. Never heard.
Ron.
I know Ron, yeah.
Ron's sister.
Oh, so Harry ends up with Ron's sister, and does Ron end up with
My.
Hermione? Okay. So we've got our opening. So you've all set it up in the opening. So we're thinking about all of this now. This is what we're trying to think about, especially this part, the build up. So we're building up to this. This will come next week, probably, when we think, what's going to happen? Okay. What do you think was the big climax in Harry Potter, or has each book got its own? Each book's got its own. So what about, all I know really is the Philosopher's Stone. I remember, I don't know if I just remember that title. So what's the climax in Philosopher's Stone? Yes.
Where he goes through the trapdoor.
Is that a big, and if he's scared and worried what's going to happen? Is it all right in the end? Yeah. Okay, good. So we're building up to that trapdoor moment. Okay, we're at this bit. So we've got a foreshadow, we've got to use dialogue, lots of description, adjectives and adverbs. Okay, so there you have these here. Now, we're going to watch a little story. Okay, because sometimes it's good. If you heard of a plot twist, what's a plot twist? Yes.
Like, when you basically say, like, the reader, like, kind of knows what's basically happening, but you, like, take them down in a way that didn't expect.
Yes, something unexpected, isn't it? Okay, I love plot twists. All right, I really like plot twists. I think they make it more interesting. We're going to watch a very, very simple little story here with a plot twist. You might have seen it before with your teacher, but what I need you to do is on your sheets.
Every day. I include your board for minute. Okay, those are the stories that I want to sell.
Yeah. No, the problem is I can't speak Chinese, so you'll have to help me. Right, so while you're watching this, what I want you to do, okay, are there any more of these? Yeah. So we could have another one each. So keep one for your own story, but on this one, I want you to say where the beginning is, what's happening in the beginning, middle, is there what goes on at the end, and is there a bit of a plot twist? And where do you find out about the plot twist? Okay, yeah.
And should I put the other one for an intro?
Yes, that's for your story. No. Oh, yes, to take.
And my
No, keep hold of both of them. Okay, but just on one of them put my story, and on one of them put the present. So on one write my story, and on one of them write the present. Okay. So on this one, you're gonna plot the story. You're gonna say at the beginning we meet the protagonist or something. What happens? Then what happens in the build-up? Is there any conflict? What's the resolution? And is there a plot twist? Okay. Okay. Nice story, wasn't it? Had you seen it before, Francis?
yeah.
You've seen it. Okay, so teachers do like that story. Okay, so if we no, not that one. So if we look at this story mountain or your story mountain, what happens, do you think, in the opening? What's the setting?
I don't know about it.
Don't worry. What was the setting at the beginning? Can you remember? Yeah.
Playing his game.
Playing his game. Yeah. What were you going to say? Playing his game. And what about? It's very typical, isn't it? Yeah. And what does the mum do when she comes in? Yeah.
Giving him present and on the phone.
She goes on the phone to who? Who is she going on the phone to? The mum. You know, I thought we sent all that. She's very busy, isn't she? And she's probably talking to work, isn't she? Do you think she's a good mum? Yeah, she seems like a good mum, doesn't she? Why does she seem like a good mum?
Because it's
But she's very clever, isn't she? She knew what to do, that mum, I think. Yeah. I think she was a bit upset that he's just on his own all the time and on them games instead of going out into the fresh air. Do you think so? So that was a little bit of foreshadowing, wasn't it? Now, what happens next in the story? Yeah. He likes the dog at first, doesn't he, when the dog pops out? And then what happens with the dog? Yeah.
and he sees yeah, on one of his legs he's another one.
Ah. And what does the little boy do? Yes, Isabella.
He's like
He's quite cruel, isn't he? What does he do?
again.
Yeah, he threw the dog, didn't he? When I first saw that film, I was shocked. But later on, do we realise why he did that? Yeah, what happens?
Because
He doesn't have a leg either. So he was angry, wasn't he? He thought he knew what his mum was trying to do, didn't he? He knew his mum was trying to say, look, it's fine. All people are different. Yeah. And what does the dog do? That's very clever. Yes.
that's the boy.
So there's no dialogue there, is there, between the dog and the little boy? So how do we see their relationship get better? Yes.
When he starts to
Yeah, he's got the ball, hasn't he? So what that means is he's using what? What's he using? What kinds of words are the action words? Yeah.
from the ball.
So verbs and adverbs, wouldn't it? To describe what was happening, you'd have to say, he threw the ball quickly, he threw the ball slowly, he threw the ball along the floor. So there'd have to be a lot of adverbs and verbs in that little section. And then at the end, we have some dialogue, don't we? Because what happens?
The relationships gets better.
Oh, and how do we know it gets better?
If he starts playing with the dog,
Yeah, and where does he go, Isabella? Where does he go with the dog?
he goes outside.
Oh, and that must make his mum so happy. I bet his mum was upstairs going, yes. So it's a very simple little story, that, isn't it? But we've got a beginning, a middle. Is there a plot twist? Yeah, what's the plot twist? Yeah. But we realise when he stands up why, when he's got one leg too. So very clever little plot twist, that, wasn't it? I like that plot twist. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to look at plotting a story with some conflict in the middle. So at the beginning, we need to create the main character, don't we? Then we need to introduce an antagonist. Yeah, that gets in the way of the protagonist's aim. And then we need to think of some conflict. So can we think of any examples? We just looked at one. We've talked about Harry Potter. Can you think of any other stories where we have a main character? Then we have something, the main character wants something, is trying to do something, and then something or someone gets in the way. Can you think of any other good stories like that? You read any other stories or films? Have you been to see any films? Yes.
This is one that I read my dad's book.
Oh, you read your dad's book? Oh my goodness, you clever girl. What was it called?
The Dictionary.
Oh my goodness. It's a very hard and difficult book. Well, what do you think then? Who's the main character? And what do they want?
It's to this. Well, who's the show?
Crack it all. He wants to crack it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What gets in the way? Yes.
This is little guy. The ISS oh, that's it. He wants to find the keystone.
And what happens? So who gets in the way of it all?
People who want to destroy the series. There's this guy called the teacher, and so.
And is it a happy ending or a sad ending or a cliffhanger? Pardon? Happy ending. They're the best, aren't they? I like happy endings. Do you? Sad endings are too terrible, too hard. Well, you get your plot now, your own story mountain plot, okay? And think about your story and try to get up to the middle. So do your beginning, what's going to happen in your beginning? Then what's going to happen after that? Think of some foreshadowing if you can. And then we're starting to get ready for this middle bit, the fight scene. Okay? So have it, yes, you can use your story. You've done the middle as well. Okay, great. So you're going to do you want to tell us about your story? What's happening?
No, I mean like
on this, on the, okay, that's fine. So start your own now. You can use your own story. Did you start a story last week, Isabella?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can use that one if you want. Is it scary or could it be scary? Could it get scary? Okay, do a bit of a getting scary one. Yeah, yours could get scary, I
you
think.
have to use the same.
No, you don't. You can use a different one.
I'm gonna use this.
Okay, it was a good story. Ah. Are you okay if we finish 10 minutes early? Do you want to tell your, just somebody picking you up? And then after this, we're going to put one more little story because it's got something else in it that's different that I want you all to think about. Okay? That's the good thing about when you're doing stories. You get to look at videos. Should we still call them videos? This is a good one because it's got something in it that is good to use in a story. Was everything for you? Is that all right? Is it all going in?
Yeah, good. Just one test in the last 2 weeks. So they're thinned out,
Yeah.
but they're still. But I think you keep saying 50 days still on that. So I didn't realise there was that many days. I thought I had longer really. So
When are you doing yours then?
so we have Christmas.
Yeah,
and then
January.
January.
A lot of them this year have them in October. So November. So at least count your blessings.
Had to have a careers meeting as well.
Oh.
Sixth forms and all that. But I thought the requirements for St. Hilda's were dead high. But I was looking at psychology, media, sociology, just a few. And you were saying like you only need 5 in English, and then you were saying you're needing 4 in English. So I was like, I can do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were saying, oh yes, St. Hilda's.
Is that where you want to go? You want to change over?
I think I do want to change over. Yeah, I think psychology and sociology are quite interesting. My school doesn't offer them, so move it.
That'll be useful.
Yeah.
Or we're going to have some good stories. I loved writing stories when I was in school. It's my favourite thing. Hated maths. Have you got maths after this, you two?
Yeah.
Exciting.
I'm not person.
I know you do, Francis. Yeah, you've got it all planned out. Good. You can keep these then, and you can add to it through the week. Yes.
So you got eclipses of an eclipse. How does he talk about eclipses?
Ellipses, yes, of course.
Then,
Not at the ending though. Not, yes, you can put an exclamation mark, definitely. Okay, so this is the last thing we're going to do here. And I want you to think the same again, like you did for the last story, but there's something else rather than there is a twist, there is a plot twist in this story, but there's also something else beginning with M. Okay, that I want you to think about, because it's good sometimes to have these in your stories as well.
I could find its name in the whole wide world.
How do I get rid of this?
That would be lovely.
Oh, hasn't she got a nice husband? Okay, so that story has got something else. We've got all of those things that the other story had.
Okay,
But it's got something else that maybe the story had a little bit of. But what is it called? What happened in that story that was a little bit different than we sort of Matilda, what was Matilda like at the beginning? Yes.
he was like this.
Yes. Really selfish. Nothing was good enough. And she told a lie, didn't she? Instead of just saying I lost it. Yeah, she was never satisfied. Okay. And then what happened? She became very poor. And when she became poor, what did she think about what life was like before she got poor? Yes.
She thought that like before she was poor was like really great. But
Exactly. So it meant she had to lose everything to realize that what she had was actually good. Yeah. And then there was a plot twist, wasn't there? What was the plot twist? Yeah. The necklace was fake. So really, she liked things and she thought it was so beautiful. So she assumed it must be worth a lot of money. But sometimes things that are not worth a lot of money can still be better, can't they? Yeah. A beautiful flower in a park that's free, I think, can be much more beautiful than McDonald's chicken nuggets that you have to pay for. Who agrees? Or would you rather have McDonald's? Oh, are you? Oh, that's good. So you don't have McDonald's at all?
Sometimes the chips.
You have the chips. Do you like McDonald's?
Yeah.
But it's nasty, really, isn't it? And it's not expensive, I suppose. But sometimes just because something costs a lot of money doesn't mean that it's good, does it? So what do we call that? At the end, she'd learned a moral. Good. So you learn a lesson. It's called the moral of the story. Good. So it's always good to use a story that has a moral. Has Harry Potter got a moral? No, it hasn't got a moral. This story's definitely got a moral. This is by a writer called Guy de Maupassant, and he's a very famous writer. He wrote lots and lots of stories. So your homework this week, okay, is right in the middle of the story that you started. So you've got your graph there to plot it all out on. And I want you to focus on setting and creating an antagonist and some conflict. Okay? And I want you to make sure that you definitely use dialogue, simile, adjectives and adverbs. Okay, you've got to use them. If you want to use anything else as well, that would be really good. And think about your foreshadowing, okay? That's why you have a plan, so you know the end, so you can foreshadow it. Because the worst thing is if you say, and then we all woke up and it was all a dream. It's like, that's a rubbish story, that. You have to think about the ending as well, okay? So when you're thinking about the middle, you have to make, are you thinking hard? Are you there, Francis? You look like you're thinking. Yeah. You have to be thinking about the end. So we're going to finish now. Has anybody got any questions for me? Yes.
I just went from the door.
That's fine. That's good. Good. So you can take them home with you. And for next week, shall I try and plan a lesson about, well, based on Harry Potter? Then I'm gonna have to read all the books before. But the reason I would, yes,
I've never actually read the books, I've only seen the movies.
I know.
Oh, they changed.
Do they? That's what of the books that I've read, I always go, oh, they've changed that bit. But the reason I think it would be good to use Harry Potter is because J.K. Rowling actually said, okay, I knew the last line of the last book before I wrote the first line of the first book. So she knew the ending of the very last book before she even started. And that is what you have to do. Obviously, you're not going to write. Maybe if you're such a great reader, you might be a writer when you grow up. Oh, would you like to be a writer?
No, I want to be a lawyer.
Oh, well, that's good. You need to use words to be a lawyer. My best friend's a lawyer. She's very rich. Yeah, she's very, very rich. She's got a great big house, but she's got no children either. So that makes you rich as well. And my friend in America, he's a lawyer as well. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer, but I decided not to. I wanted to be a teacher. Okay, so that's good. You can have a little break now, go to the toilet if you've got a snack, because you're starting maths, aren't you? Okay, have you got a snack with you?
Of course not.
No. Have you got a snack with you at all? No. You've got water though, haven't you? Are you hungry? Or are you okay? You're going to go to the bathroom. Okay, do you know where it is? Well done for today. Let's hope the other girl, little girl, comes next week. Everybody's sick, aren't they? Yes.
Am I going to have to go?
Of course you can. Of course you can. You okay there? Can you the lights on? Oh, okay. See you next week, lovely Isabella. Okay, see you next week, Francis. Have a lovely week.